Sightlines, how we do love them. Hello everyone and welcome back to Planet Coaster 2 and to the Rio Disney Resort that we have been working on over the past few episodes. Today we are working on the village shopping center type of thing, or at least the facades of it. First things first, of course, were the sightlines which you saw earlier, which you know that I love. Just making sure that our entrances to the Aqua Park, the main park, and the village all line up perfectly with the dome of the hotel. We're going to get right into this. It's mainly facade work that we're doing today to get the look all right, and this is the first one, which is going to be the Grand Souvenir Shop, the World of Disney, so to speak, as it's called at most of the resorts, making two types of walls in the same style, similar to the hotel design. We're sort of continuing that on into our shopping area here as well. So over there on the left you can see we've chosen a light beige and a little red finish at the top. That red finish is actually going to continue on in towards our sort of more modern dining experience, which is right next to this souvenir shop. Whilst rotating around, making sure that the glass dome, because we do love a good dome, is all correct and it does fit in quite nicely without too many overlaps. Getting quite good at these domes now, actually, with quite a bit of practice. There we can see there's the base design of it, and that's being slotted right into place with a few of these walls around it where the cash registers will eventually go. And then, of course, we must have a side entrance here as well. Lights on the side, making them a nice little orange hue, because the park is open for many hours, as is any Disney park, so making sure it works in night and day as well. We're going to get right on to the second building here. This is going to be all about clothes and apparel, all of these type of things. You want any sort of clothes, find them here in this shop. I'm using the inspiration from like outlet stores mixed with a little bit of Spanish colonial revival, which is very fitting for Rio de Janeiro. Making everything custom, of course. Custom windows here. You can see these are the second floor windows, multiple floors in this big sort of outlet as it looks like. So at the bottom there we've got the entrance, and then at the top we're going to have a big grand window, and then at the very top we're going to have another sort of arched window. That's more for decor. This is going to be like a open style tower. A couple of little lights there, and then we can see the roof there on top to make it all fit. That's all done with sight lines in mind, so that means that everything is lined up perfectly. So as you're looking, no matter which perspective in the park you're looking from, you will see this the way we intend you to see this, and the street curves in such a way that the architecture matches essentially, and that it all complements each other without looking out of place, which is why a 7-minute video only took a day to make. Here we can see one of the side buildings. I've gone for this nice little arcade for the outlet. I really like this idea of people to be able to walk outside but covered ever so slightly as well, and then they can just look inside at all the various different stands that we'll have. Just adding a little bit of detail work there for the roofs before we slot it into the place next to the tower there as well. Alongside, it's not going to be connected to the hotel. There's going to be a little walkway there to the side for the hotel guests to wrap around, but this is just the extension here to sort of the entrance side of the hotel side, really, of the outlets. We can see going for a slightly different design here. It's going to be very open on the inside as well. It's going to be completely open and just this very beautiful big grand space. Adding a little bit of foliage on this one, actually, a little bit overgrown here with these really nice plants. Add a splash of color because everything is very white, beige and dark brown in this whole area, so these little plants work out really well. Off to the main eatery establishment then. These are going to be multiple different eateries all under one roof, as you find very often in the shopping districts at various theme parks, not just Disney. So these are all going to have their own custom. I want neon signs. I am working in Photoshop at the moment to try and see if I can make that work. Whether or not it will work, we will see. And they'll come up there with the title of each different restaurant. So black at the bottom, one of the completely different base. You see this quite a bit where buildings get added and removed and redesigned. So this is a sort of new-ish area because this is slightly off-center and really out of view in its own sort of area from the hotel. It doesn't necessarily have to match the standard that we've set the Spanish colonial revival. I wanted to go for something a little bit more modern, so you can see that we're working on that. We've got a nice little wave pattern in there that just breaks up the floors, and these really big grand windows at the top. Now this top bit, we are recoloring that red again, splash of color, slight change in that. It works really, really well once we connect it all up, and it's going to be in a slight, very, very slight curve as well to mimic the roadways. Just adding the pillars, wanted to do, again, something completely different, something we haven't done. So we're going to go for this sort of light orange base, a splash of color, before we add in these white pillars that we're just resizing to get a variety of different looks to it, and then shrinking it all down and putting it into place right there to the side. Flipping it round, and we're going to actually repeat this another time over to the very top there as well, with just a few little details. Going for these industrial style lamps in black to match the bottom, and that works out really well. Wanted a little bit more modern look for this building, and on the side here as well, going for these nice modern lamps that we are facing down and up in both styles for a nice bright LED look at night as well. And there it is, that's what this building looks like at night. Obviously inside is going to be completely lit up, it's going to be completely detailed with the restaurants inside. So the bottom of the ground floor essentially is where you will order all your food, top floor is where you will sit, and the idea with having all of these windows be see-through is that it creates this really cool immersion that when we do look at it, when it's completely finished, and especially at night, we can see people sitting in front of the windows having their food. Slight little rectangle tower here to break it up, and it breaks up the sight lines as well, because as you can see, part of theme park design is sight lines. As you know, I talk about this every single episode. This tower is going to hide it. It's going to be a little bit more colonial, that first tower, just so that it matches the overall sight lines, but it's a little bit hidden away there behind the souvenir shop. We added that in and we made that half circle before we then continued here on the pathways, which took an insane amount of time because the curbs need to be correct and people mustn't be able to go through walls, which I know sounds stupid, but then if you, in Planet Coaster, of course, if you add paths everywhere and connected to each other, people will start walking through walls. So at the moment it is, I tweaked that later, and that's why it took a little while, is to get everything to fit up perfectly. We're going to add in the doors to the souvenir shop here later, but this nice big atrium, we've got a globe up top as well, which is pretty standard for the World of Disney shop. Just finishing off the edge here of our outlet, adding in a square tower, which will be visible from the hotel, and that is also visible from the parking lot. So what these towers do is they lure the guests in, right? They press them on further into the land, that we can see the path layout as well. And that's pretty much all of the work we've done today. It was an insane amount of work to get all these facades right, but the facades are so important. Behind it and above it, very simple, very generic, very cheap. It's going to be concrete. That's how the real park works. Once you go backstage at these kind of parks, it's not pretty. It is just pure industrial, pure fit for purpose. But there's a little side bit. We're going to add in a little grey wall in that later. You will see that in the cinematics, which are about to come up here. Just adding in a few more pieces of detail, like I said, on the roof here, just to finish it off. It is time for the cinematics to see what the facades look like. There we can see our beautiful souvenir shop with a globe up top and this beautiful dome, which works well. And it ties in that architecture in a loop around from the hotel as well. We can see the facade for the outlet and the brand new modern restaurants, which once they're finished with the neon signs and the interiors, I reckon will look really, really nice indeed. There we can see the main tower and we can see the square tower in the back, and this is what the whole park looks like at the moment as seen from the hotel. Please subscribe, like and comment. I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching and goodbye.